Please welcome to the show, Matt Walsh. Hey, Matt, how are you?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
Fantastic. Now, before we get to the new movie, what is a woman? Did you ever figure that out?
I don't want to give spoilers away, but we did figure it out at the very end of the film. We discovered apparently it's an adult human female. Who would have thought?
I don't even know what is a female. That's the next movie, I think. What is a female?
We just keep going deeper and deeper. It's the franchise.
Yeah, Matt's not going to be making that movie anytime soon because the dictionary defines a female as someone who can give birth. And then if you point out to Matt all the women out there who can't give birth, well, then he says, well, then it's a person with a vagina. And then you point out that Olympic boxer in this year from Algeria that had a vagina who Matt called a man. And then that's around the time Matt stands up to excuse himself to go to the bathroom where there's a window wide enough for his ass to fit through.
You know, my friend Keaton makes the point, or maybe Russ says that, you know, you'd be the kind of guy who'd be, you know, writing on Saturday Night Live in the 70s, you know.
Alongside Jim Downey.
Oh, and you know, I was conditioned to think, you know, conservatives don't have a sense of humor, right? They're not funny.
It's not that conservatives aren't funny. It's that Matt's not funny because conservatives can't pull off political satire. And Matt here is a perfect example of that. His movie, and it's called Am I a Racist? It fails at the level of premise. The movie tries to mock DEI consultants, which the left already did years ago. Chapo Trap House trashed Robin DiAngelo years ago. I did it before they did it because I'd see clips of her on Facebook giving lectures. And this is way before she came out with a book. And she'd say things like, denying that you suffer from white fragility proves that you suffer from white fragility. I believe I called her the woke Jordan Peterson. The premise of the left's critique is that DEI consultants are grifters who provide cover for bigoted corporations, legal cover to avoid lawsuits. And by the way, the person on the other end of that conversation you heard was Jimmy Dore, who elsewhere in this interview claims that trans people were invented by BlackRock. Matt's premise of his movie is that racism doesn't even exist.
Yeah, kind of ironically, Barack Obama's election probably is one of the main reasons why we're experiencing a lot of the racial strife we're experiencing right now, because now I was not an Obama voter, but you would think that you know, the greatest evidence that there is no systemic racism in America anymore is when you elect a black man. Like, if a black man can make it all the way to the very top of the system, voted there by the people, then that's really good evidence, you would think, that systemic racism is not an issue anymore.
See? The movie fails the second he opens his mouth to explain the movie. Systemic racism doesn't exist because the people elected a black person. The people elected a black person in spite of the system. The people and a system are two different things. A system is created, and then people live within that system for generations. The people themselves are broadly liberal. They're live and let live, broadly speaking. But the system is stubbornly right-wing. The people, for example, want a public health care system, and yet the system refuses to provide one. Schools in black neighborhoods have less funding than schools in white neighborhoods. And why are there disparities in incarceration rates? Matt won't answer that question. He can't tell you that any more than he can tell you what a woman is. Now, this movie is called Am I a Racist? Well, Matt believes that interracial marriage should be illegal, so yes, the answer is yes. Yes, you are, Matt. You're a racist. I haven't seen the movie myself, but I'll give you my review. It's trash. And I know that it's trash because it's supposed to be a comedy, and no one has ever in their life, in the history of Matt Walsh, ever hear Matt Walsh say a single funny thing in his entire life. He was at the DNC convention wearing that stupid looking wig. You know that wig? It looks exactly like the wig Norman Bates wore at the end of Psycho when he storms into the cellar with the butcher knife. He had that stupid wig. He was wandering around the DNC aimlessly. And he did nothing but randomly stare at cameras or randomly walk in front of cameras. He had, like, his corporate owners got him into the Democratic National Convention, and he couldn't come up with a single... Mike Lindell showed up, and Mike Lindell put on a show. He got confronted by a 12-year-old kid who recognized him even without his mustache and dunked on him. He made it on late night television. He made it on Jimmy Kimmel. Matt couldn't come up with a single bit. He just wandered aimlessly, staring into the distance. Spike Lee was there. He could have trolled Spike Lee. He didn't do shit. He couldn't come up with a single joke. And you want to know why? Not only can Matt Walsh not write a joke, Matt Walsh doesn't even understand what a joke is. So Matt doesn't believe that women can be funny because he believes they're too vulgar to be funny. And I won't even go into how stupid that statement is, but I got a clip here of him responding to an Ali Wong joke. Now, I'm not an Ali Wong fan, but that's not the point. I'm going to show you something here that I think is very revealing about Matt and comedy, Matt Walsh and comedy. So the joke she tells is something about to the effect of she understands why dudes fuck nannies, because if she had a nanny, and she lists all these qualities, that he was hot and courteous and he was on time and he was great with her kids, and she lists this long bit of thing, and then she ends it with that she would totally eat that dude's butthole. Here's Matt responding to that joke.
She was actually setting up, maybe, it's like she was getting ready maybe to say something funny and poignant, but at the very last moment, right on the cusp of almost saying something clever and witty, she veered right into a butthole.
The punchline is, eat his butthole, something like that. What Matt just described is called a misdirection. He just described the joke. Matt Walsh isn't just offended by the vulgarity of this person's joke. Matt Walsh is offended by how a joke is structured. Also, that voice is too much, man. That's the other reason I couldn't watch this movie, man. I would rather hear myself scream "why" as my parents beat me to death than listen to that fake Alex Jones voice of his. Conservatives, or conservative comedy, fails. In political satire, it fails. For the same reason he went to that DNC convention with nothing. Because he believed his mere presence would trigger someone. No one cared, of course, but he could just pretend that they were triggered. I mean, Tom MacDonald has made an entire career out of doing just that. But that's his idea of comedy. That is a right-winger's idea of comedy. Simply triggering people. Conservatives have no sense of humor. But they do feel joy in the suffering of others. And to them, that's close enough.